straight up cheating, and I don't like to see it. I really hate
I gotta say, dude, in Miami-Dade, a Republican won.
What?
Flipping a safe Democrat district.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so Florida's
cool.
27th. And
how neat.
Yeah, so there was big news on this because it was the Cuban American vote.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Wow.
Who would have thought if you have a Democratic Party that is entertaining socialist policies,
that Cubans wouldn't vote for them.
You're right.
People who literally fled on rafts of trash would vote against that. No.
See, but that's the thing is that's where they depend on these communities to be morons.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's an
hate
insult.
that,
It's
yeah.
literally
It
It really is insulting.
26 as well. The Democrat incumbent was defeated by the Republican.
Yeah.
Carlos Jimenez. I don't know how to pronounce it.
And isn't it interesting? I wonder what the response is going to be from all the psycho like ethno-nationalists who say like, oh, well, if we keep allowing immigrants to come to this country, they're always going to vote for the Democrat. When we have the Republican Party clearly showing that they can get votes from these communities if they're willing to look out for the working class, and also if they're still willing to continue to support socially conservative values. Trump wasn't perfectly socially conservative, but he was certainly better than the Democratic alternative, and working people thought that he cared about them.
As far as I'm concerned, that is two birds with one stone. To get people who floated in from Cuba on rafts and who are now like, hey, you know what, I don't like socialism very much. And to get people who are like socially conscious and socially conservative, that's fantastic. They're not stupid, it turns out.
It is a fact that the Republican Party is now the party of the working class.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Democratic Party is the party of the managerial elites,
Party
Wall Street
switch.
bankers. Yeah, it's crazy.
And the
really
switch,
was.
it's interesting because the switch took quite a while. I'm from the Chicago area originally. My parents are both born and raised on the South Side, Irish Catholics. And when they were young, before Roe v. Wade, before abortion was an issue that the Democrats were really, and the Republicans were talking about frequently, and that the Democrats were obsessed with promoting, most working class people, and especially Catholics and Christians, would vote Democrat because they saw that as the party for working people, for the poor. And then when the left, or when the Democratic Party became very socially left-wing, there was this tension where a lot of people wanted their conservative values represented, but they held their nose and voted Democrat anyway because they thought the Democrats would be more likely to help the poor. And so there was this split where you kind of had the Republicans saying good things socially that working class people agreed with, because a lot of working class people are much more socially conservative, I think, as a general rule. But you had the Democrats doing things that people at least perceived as being in the interest of the working class.
Right.
Now it's sort of shifted, and the Republican Party has done more to fully integrate the working class into their platform, which is going to be massively helpful for the Republican Party. So it's interesting because even though it appears as if Donald Trump is going to lose, we don't know for sure, but even if he does lose, he's clearly proven that there is a winning strategy for the Republican Party that we just have not been tapping into, and that is caring about the working class, or at least convincing them that you care about them, because obviously neither party really
That's
does,
encouraging.
but
That's encouraging.
he made an effort.
It's an interesting party switch because the Democrats are still the racist party.
Yeah, that hasn't
They
changed.
always-
But like
Some things
it's
did not.
now they're rich racists, you know.
Exactly. The best kind.
Yeah,
The best kind
the
of
ones
racist,
with
rich
with
racists,
power,
yeah.
and they can buy commercials.
Yeah.
And, well, I got good news. They Democrats, Californians voted down Prop 16.
Yes,
Yeah.
that
Really?
is good.
Yeah, Prop 16, for those that don't know, was the one that was going to repeal the civil rights protections from their constitution. And I love how it's framed by every media outlet. They're like, it would have allowed affirmative action to help minorities. And I'm like, I could
come
literally
on.
write an article saying it would allow government institutions to put whites only signs up.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. That people say, yeah, but there's the federal 1964 Civil Rights Act. Okay, and that's the case. Then why should we care about your state, your law? Because
Bingo.
someone has to sue. And so if they can get rid of that state protection, then they can enact these things in the state, and someone will have to sue to the federal courts to try and get them to stop doing it.
So that's good from California. And I wanted
is
to
good.
throw in, too, I noticed that Colorado voted yes to join the Interstate Compact.
Oh, man.
They did decide to do that. So I'm curious if any other states did, and I'm kind of asking Chad at this point because I don't know. This is something I'd like. Okay, Tim's looking it up for us. But I'm really curious where we're at with that because I don't want that to be a thing. I like the Electoral College. I think the Founding Fathers were pretty darn
that is
smart.
not correct.
Yeah, agree.
All right, what do you think, Tim?
What is not
Wait,
correct, Tim?
do not look up Interstate Compact. That's not what I'm looking for.
Okay.
The one that comes up is Interstate Commission for Adult Offender Supervision.
Oh my.
That's
different.
But
wow.
that is not the website I was
That's
looking
the
at.
Truth and Reconciliation.
That's not the same. No, that's actually useful, unlike the...
No, we're looking for the
Reconciliation
National Popular Vote.
There we
and
go.
It's nationalpopularvote.com.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
stuff. All right.
So I don't know if they. I guess Colorado is joined as official. Did they say
Yeah.
they make it official?
What do we
Agreement
got?
among the states. For those that aren't familiar with what this is, it basically means that once enough states join the compact that will put the electoral college over 270, they have vowed to always give their electoral votes to whoever wins the popular vote.
Ooh, that could bite him.
It was one of the stupidest ideas I have ever heard from Democrats because they don't think about these things and they're low information voters.
Yeah.
Right now, it is functionally impossible for California to give their votes to a Republican.
Right.
The National Popular Vote Interstate Compact opens a door to allow California to give their votes to a Republican. Why would you do that? California is 2-1 Democrat Republican. They were like, I have a good idea. Let's agree on this thing where if a Republican wins, we're going to give our votes to him to guarantee it.
I like it.
I love it.
They don't think
people,
past stage one.
they don't think about these things. They don't look back at history. They don't look at the past elections. I think the last time California went red was like 1988.
Yeah.
I think
Reagan.
it was
Yeah,
88.
Reagan Mondale, right?
No, that was Bush.
Bush. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. I think
I
that was
can't
the
believe
last time.
so wow, California voted for
a long time
H-Dub.
ago.
I didn't know that.
H-Dub. I think so. I could be wrong. But each and every one of these blue states, I think Colorado originally rejected it. Like the governor was like, nah, but I guess they voted for it. That was a referendum.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So this is great. Colorado's blue. This is great news for Republicans. It's really, really
Wonderful.
good news. Now, of course, Donald Trump lost the popular vote.
Yeah.
So what they're thinking
we don't
is
know yet. He does have time. He could win the popular vote by the end of the night. They count
what
enough.
they're thinking is Republicans will never win over cities. I got bad news for all of you. We just saw some Republicans win in Miami-Dade.
That's
okay, and
amazing.
Trump got major advantages in these cities. And I'm telling you, man, I'm asking my friends, why are you voting for the same people who have been stealing out of your back pocket your entire life? And they're starting to say that's a good point. So could you imagine we get to this point where there actually is some political competition in urban centers, and then all of a sudden you actually start getting Republicans saying, we're going to go and talk to city centers because it's not about getting the entire district anymore. Think about this.
Yeah.
AOC's district is about
Very
20% Republican, and Republicans don't bother getting those votes.
Yep.
What happens if those votes all come out and many people in these
Exactly.
areas actually start voting in larger
Exactly.
numbers? The idea is typically there are more Republican voters in blue states who don't care and won't vote than Democrats in red states that don't care. So if you look at, say, like Wyoming, I think what Wyoming has, 500,000 people. They get 3
Seems
votes,
generous. I don't know.
3 electoral votes. How many Democrats do they have? What percentage? It's something like 20 or so percent. But that's 20%. That's 20%. That's 100,000 people. But 20% of AOC's district is more than 100,000 people.
Yeah.
Meaning there's the argument that I've heard, and this could be incorrect, is that there are Republicans who live in blue areas that don't bother voting. What's the point? We're going to lose. They enact this. All of a sudden, Republicans start going, I guess I'll vote. Now, the fact that we're in the extreme minority in, NY14 with AOC doesn't matter because Colorado is going to give their votes to the Republican. Might as well go vote.
Yeah.
There it is.
I think
Maybe it's a good thing.
I
Oh,
think
exactly.
what Democrats have effectively done and is very powerful for them and works, especially in minority communities, is they really do enslave them mentally. Like when you tell populations that you cannot survive without me, you need government welfare, you need us, you need this, you're underprivileged economically, socially, in so many different ways. Like you need us. These communities begin to believe that, and they begin to actually gravitate towards that, and they feel like they cannot survive.
We got an update.
Uh-oh.
The latest drop from Arizona has come in, and Joe Biden's lead has now dropped to 46,257.
Ooh.
Trump is closing the gap.
Trump is closing
Nate
that
Silver.
gap.
Nate Silver said they need to
man.
retract it. So I was looking at some political polls. They said Trump is actually overperforming.
Wow.
Oh boy.
So the way it's working is they're 90% reported. There's still hundreds of thousands to be counted, and Trump needs
Right.
to win an average of like 57 points. But he's been overperforming in various districts where they were tracking this. I don't know if he's going to win.
Oh, this is such a nail biter.
Maybe he won't.
Well, that's the thing, right?
If he wins Arizona and Pennsylvania, it's done. Trump
done.
wins.
Yep.
Trump wins.
If he wins
No
Arizona
courts.
and Pennsylvania and doesn't lose Georgia because
Oh,
it's
that's true.
99%
Right.
reporting, but Trump's only ahead by like 3,000 votes.
That's where I think we might actually see it go to the courts.
Yeah.
Trump might win a legal battle on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
he will.
he's
I
got
did.
a
Good.
5-4 conservative court.
I think
did
he
see.
will.
Yeah, I did see a tweet the other day that said if Trump continues to fight this battle, he will win.
Yeah.
And I think this is the case. I hope so.
I
really
think
hope
so. I do. Looking at what's happening in Arizona, we'll see though. We got an update here from Georgia. Trump's lead is down to 2,497.
Seamus.
You know what really bothered me?
Close.
I'm seeing people dragging Joe Jorgensen and the people who voted for her.
No.
And that's always really pissed me off. They're like, can you believe that if George Jorgensen supporters just supported Trump, he'd win everything? And I'm like, libertarians don't want to vote for a Republican, dude.
Nope.
Don't make those assumptions.
Yeah, I think some of them would have, but oftentimes people who vote third party just were not going to vote. I think it's the same mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, I like
Not
the idea
always,
of
though.
I like the idea of voting for who you think would be the best
Yeah.
president, no matter what.
Absolutely.
But there was a really funny Babylon Bee article. It showed a woman. And it said, save money on postage by throwing your third-party ballot directly into the trash.
rude.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah.
Wow, man. Look at this. What
crazy.
is this? 4.9 million votes reported. They say we just received 1,337 additional votes from Georgia. Trump is currently up by 2,497 votes.
Oh,
Wow. It's going to come down to like Joe Biden winning by one vote.
Seamus.
Literally.
Seamus. It's going to come down to one
I know.
vote.
I
You know
wonder
whose vote
who.
that's going to be. You know whose vote that's going to be, Seamus?
Wow.
In Georgia?
I don't know.
It is.
Yours.
Hold on. It is 49.4 to 49.3. This is crazy. Joe Biden has the absentee advantage. Jorgensen with 1%. Why do they even put in Jorgensen? You know what I mean? I guess it's
So
cool.
that you can see where the last couple are going. The
Yeah.
last 1%.
Yeah, but they're right. Oh, and write-ins were only 287. Wow.
Wow, interesting.
I wonder who they wrote in.
Intrepid. I'd like to write in Mickey Mouse, please.
I wrote in on the for like the school board, Rand Paul and Ron Paul.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
What if they get elected to like some random New Jersey?
They're like,
school
oh my
board?
They're
gosh,
now
what are we
in
going to
charge.
do?
Yeah.
They make
Literally.
it work.
You're actually, as the law Constitution states, you've been elected to local office, so you can no longer be a senator.
Oh
I'd
no,
feel so bad.
Timothy.
Well, there's going to be so that just came in. Joe Biden just got a net gain of 2,500 votes in Pennsylvania. Trump currently in Mercer County, where Trump has 63% of the vote. So in Pennsylvania, we are looking at Trump's lead falling down to 48,854
Man.
votes.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
that's not that bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty sizable still.
Well,
I
but
don't know, man.
but Pennsylvania is only 90% reporting.
Yep.
Still 10%.
Yeah, we've
Jeez,
still got
dude.
quite a lot to
I wonder
count
what
there,
county
man.
is left. Can you see the
We've
county
still
on
got
there?
quite a bit to count.
Yeah,
we-
what Pennsylvania counties are left?
I'm trying to
So
find that.
mostly Democrat ones.
Philly. Oh gosh.
94 reporting in Bucks.
Bucks.
Mhm.
Chester County is more than 98, so probably not. Lackawanna, let's see. Oh, here we go. Monroe County, 81%.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Trump
yeah.
winning There.
And
Cool.
98,
Okay.
let's see what we got here.
Neat.
Mostly all 98% reported or more. And then we got 90% in Mercer County, where
Whoa.
well, Joe Biden got some gains from there, but Trump is
crushing it.
up. Then we have 87% in Crawford. I'm actually thinking it might look good for Trump. A lot of the red areas still have more to report, and
This
the blue
is my only
areas
prediction.
the blue areas seem to be mostly reported,
Ow,
except for Delaware County's at 87. And
This is
that's
it.
that's going to be big.
Conveniently.
This is going to get interesting. 90% in Lehigh County. This is going to get down to the wire. What
I think
if,
Joe Jorgensen's going to win
I think so too.
What if
That's
Trump
really
and
good.
Biden just both drop out?
at the last minute and then Kanye wins. I think it's funny. I think Kanye tweeted the other day. He's like, "No man should have that kind of power. I don't care." It's like, bro, you thought you were
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
win?
sorry.
Did he really think he was going to win?
No, actually,
Got it.
maybe I'm
Nah.
wrong. Maybe this was actually a fake tweet that I saw and should have fact checked. Did I just spread fake news? I
How
think maybe I did,
dare
but I
you.
caught it. Hey,
you know what?
But
I bet he
caught
did.
it.
I bet he did say it
I-
because he has a song called "Power" and it says, "No one man should have all that power."
Oh, so he
This
did
is
tweet
correct,
at some point.
Kanye. I think that's
That-
true.
That's from his song
100%
Power.
Did you guys?
Yeah,
did you
that's
guys? Did you guys know that Facebook tracks violence, incitement?
They do. Yeah, let's
What
talk
do
about
you
this.
mean?
Facebook has a meter where they're like tracking the words people use to determine how angry and violent they're becoming.
Yeah, what's up
Seriously,
with
check it out. From BuzzFeed News, Facebook has an internal metric for violence and incitement trends. Right now, it's rising. Thank you, BuzzFeed, for
Yeah.
making me feel more comfortable. The metric, which assesses the potential for danger based on keywords, rose to 580 from 400 this week, a 45% increase. What does that mean? That doesn't mean anything to me. Does that mean people are being violent? Like they want to be violent? They're going to be violent? What is it?
that? Are they reading our minds? What's going on? It's
Yeah.
like when they can know when we're pooping.
No, but like, what's a 579 mean? Do they tell us? They say as votes are being tallied, blah, blah, blah. In a post to a group on Facebook's internal messaging board, one employee alerted their colleagues to a nearly 45% increase in the metric, which assesses the potential for danger based on hashtags and search terms over the last 5 days. The post, which was seen by BuzzFeed News, notes that trends were previously rising slowly, but that recently some conspiracy theory and general unhappiness post hashtags were gaining popularity. The probable violence and incitement metric for Explore has been slowly rising over the last few days, the post's author wrote, referring to Facebook's Explore search tool. Risky hashtags seem conspiracy theory-esque. The internal metric, which has not previously been reported, has been around a score of 400 on October 31, and then it started rising to 580 as of Thursday morning. Yeah. They say they ban violence and incitement. The rapid uptick in violence and incitement number indicates that the company's own internal metrics have found Facebook posts are contributing to an unstable situation around the counting of ballots in the U.S. presidential election as Donald Trump and his supporters attempt to inject unfounded doubts into the process. I love how BuzzFeed just has to put that in there.
Extra words, man.
Pretty sure people have videos of things that are freaking them out. I believe all of these things should be investigated because could you imagine if Biden wins and none of these things are investigated and then we get 4 years of Joe Biden cheated? Like, I'm not interested. I think if the Democrats are very confident they're going to win, then look into these things and debunk them if you think they're not true. If BuzzFeed wants to say they're unfounded, okay, BuzzFeed, write an article about it and tell me why it's unfounded. Prove it. Otherwise, don't waste my time. They say these hashtags, which are gaining popularity, point to the overall theme, the employee wrote, of Democrats stealing the election, not trusting the results, and supporting Trump. I wouldn't panic because most of these hashtags aren't very prevalent, but it does seem to be building trend that ideally we stop before it gains momentum, the employee said in their post. While these hashtags aren't as explicitly risky as rigged election and voter fraud, they do promote similar ideas. Given we have approval to block those hashtags, it would be great if we could come up with a standard for these borderline hashtags. Do you know what they're saying?
What the H are they saying?
If you tweet something like Democrats are stealing the election, or if you post that on Facebook, they will get rid of you.
Because you're inciting violence.
Because you're contributing to this trend of ideas.
That's interesting.
They don't want you to think or share information.
Goodbye, Project Veritas.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah. Veritas
man.
is going to get nuked for
They're
sure.
going to be done.
I mean, look, Mark Ruffalo, he tweeted earlier, there is not a single shred of evidence to anything Trump is claiming, talking about the voter fraud.
Yep.
It's all lies, and it's not going to go anywhere with the courts. He has lost all but one lawsuit because he has no credible claims.
And Mark Ruffalo would know. He's who I go to
He is
for
the
my
authority.
political
But I mean, really
analysis.
think
Yeah.
about
He
this.
knows what's
Like,
up.
with all of these college students in universities that have, like, they need safe spaces, they have crazy PTSD because of 2016, the media creates this narrative. The media puts it out and says, this is that, Hillary's going to bomb, Biden's going to bomb. They say that this isn't real, there's no fraud, nothing here going on. But then the truth comes out. They can't deal with reality. They have PTSD. It's like they did this to them. So like I'm speaking to these kids right now. It's like the reason why you have such terrible PTSD is because the media, people like Mark Ruffalo, lie to you. They cause you to believe that this is
It's true,
actually
yeah.
not happening, and then the truth comes out, and you're completely disillusioned.
Yep.
Your whole world is a lie.
And Glenn Greenwald tweeted, "That's great because it gives the Lincoln Project more time to take money from the something like
It's
that.
true. I love it.
Or it gives Resistance Democrats more time to transfer their bank account funds over to the Lincoln Project.
Exactly.
Something like that.
That's a good. That's an excellent point. I appreciate him saying that.
I don't know what's going on with the internet, but
No worries.
the good news is that the Verizon people finally came.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll get it before the
We're gonna have
apocalypse
real
happens.
internet. Hopefully
Yeah.
before the internet.
Exactly.
Look, when I see the story about Facebook and the violence rising stuff, they start banning people, I think that contributes to people getting angrier and angrier. And I've seen comments on videos and stuff where they say things like, what do I do? I'm starting to feel very powerless.
Yeah.
Like, your vote doesn't matter. You're being ignored. The media's lying to you. What do you do? I'm worried people are gonna start going nuts, and that's what we don't want to happen. But I mean, what are people going to do?
On the
yeah,
right.
on the right, absolutely on the right.
And
the left has already snapped a long time ago.
Yeah.
These people
Oh,
have
yeah.
lost the plot.
Yeah.
So, do you guys think that the right has a leg to stand on if they were to melt down and go crazy and cause trouble? Because I remember this CNN reporter was talking about these gun-toting people in Arizona saying, you know, count the vote or stop the vote or whatever. She's like, they're carrying long guns. She sounded like she was reporting from a war zone.
Yeah.
Like, nothing has happened with those guns. Nothing's going to happen with those guns. Those people are perfectly fine, perfectly in their rights to pray. So what's the deal? Why should right-wingers not riot? Like, what's stopping them?
Rioting is bad.
Of
okay?
course,
Feels
I know
like-
that's
no,
true.
I hear you.
That is
I
true.
think-
You know what I'm saying, though, right?
I think if it is true, if the things that appear to be sketchy truly are,
Yeah.
then of course people have a right to demand some kind of investigation for this to be seriously looked into and remedied. That's pretty much all I can say at this point. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
It
I
feels
mean,
like we
Biden matters.
I don't know what's going on with ops over here.
Yeah,
the internet's on the fritz because we're talking about naughty things.
yeah, we're talking
Yeah.
about bad things.
They're cutting
Are
us.
we getting hashtag throttled right now?
Maybe.
Is that what's
Yeah.
happening?
I don't think so.
The comment section's going crazy.
The
Why,
comment-
are they saying it's suppression?
Yeah.
Is
We're-
that-
Sure it is. It's not. It's maybe
Dude,
in the middle
I live in the
nowhere.
mountains.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So, yeah, man, I don't want to be in the city.
I think we're back. There we
And
go.
I mean, it's been cutting in and out. It just cut out again. There's nothing we can do about it.
Whatevs. We're chilling. We're chilling.
I don't want to be in any cities for the time being.
yeah,
You know,
I'm
for the-
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I still do live. I was just up there, and we're still pretty much on the East Coast. I just don't want to be within walking distance, you know, or I guess
Within
bus
riding
or
distance.
Uber distance. We'll call it that. We'll call it Uber distance.
Yeah.
So still
I
decently
mean,
far away.
I'm not going to give any locations, but I'm moving out of Cali. I left.
You are.
I can give locations.
Yes.
I know where he's
I-
moving.
I
so
prepared
if you want-
for
If you
this.
want his
Don't
docs,
do it,
give a
Seamus.
super chat.
Seamus, no.
I prepared for this, man,
Good,
because
I'm glad.
Trump, if Trump loses this thing, like I mean, dealing with Antifa, Black Lives Matter, these people want revolution. They want to destroy the system. And if you're in like a heavy, huge blue state, blue city, like if the police get defunded,
you
no one's
kidding?
no one's
Yeah.
gonna help you, and you're being convinced as a leftist that guns are bad. You're being convinced as a leftist that even the thought of a gun is evil.
Do you
Yeah.
think some of
Like,
that changed?
who's
Drew?
gonna come in? Who? I think change will only come when this starts knocking on your door.
I think you might
I
be
think
right.
that's when it
case in
happens.
point. I didn't want to buy any guns or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then the riots got too close, and I was like, they're defunding the police. I had someone trying to break into my house, and so I was like, time to go buy some guns.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's a reasonable approach to take. Someone tries to break into your house. Also, I mean I think people should just have guns, generally speaking, to defend themselves.
Yeah.
I did a cartoon about this when the riots broke out about guns.
Oh, that's
and about
right.
the mobs and how I mean I was thinking that for the time being the gun control conversation would pretty much be dead because when
It was
riots
for a
pop up
little
across
while.
the country, yeah, and they aren't discussing it as much recently, but of course it'll come back. People's
Harvard's website.
Yes.
No.
eBay used to be yellow, and then they decided one day we're gonna make eBay white, and they changed it, and everyone flipped out, and they were like, "No, it's bad. Change it back. We hate it. It's." So they changed it back. Like, okay, whoa. Then every day they slowly did one increment towards white, and then a year later the website was white, and no one noticed.
Oh wow.
No one had noticed the change.
It's kind of cool.
That's
That
what that's
frog in the boiling water, right?
exactly boiling frogs.
Exactly.
So that's what I think we're going to see. I don't think Joe Biden's going to do anything dramatic. Like, could you imagine if right when he gets in office, he goes like, "We're signing the deal to destroy the suburbs," and then he they start tearing down suburbs and like Trump.
Part of the Green New Deal. Get rid of the
yeah,
suburbs.
we got to change the buildings.
Yeah, I mean-
Paris Climate Agreement.
Well,
He
that's
already-
the thing. This insane monolithic bureaucratic super state that's spying on everybody and waging these completely unsustainable wars in the Middle East and taxing people at unbelievably high rates was not built overnight. This is something that they had to work their way to one new policy at a time.
Right. Yeah. So they're so. I just think it's funny. Joe Biden, he wants to raise the corporate tax rate to what, like 39%, right? The Obama administration and Biden were in favor of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Okay. They're also in favor of a $15 minimum wage. Put those things together.
Yeah.
What do
How's
you
this
get?
going to work?
Okay. Here's what happens. You say free trade between the U.S. and China. If you work in this country, if the company's got to pay you $15 an hour, and we're going to tax that company 40%.
Yeah.
So the company says, so what you're telling me is if I go in China where I can pay a quarter an hour to Foxconn, laborers who live in cubicles, I don't got to pay them healthcare. I don't got to pay $15, and I got to pay corporate tax rate, but I get to keep all the profits. Done.
Yeah.
Free trade. I can ship the products back in with no tariffs, no costs.
Exactly.
Done.
Because Biden will definitely.
That's
remove
what
all those
they
tariffs.
were
Yeah,
doing.
exactly. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I think Trump got elected, because they were eroding the manufacturing base, like purposefully allowing it to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's coming back, baby.
It's coming back.
I think it's going to be
If Biden wins, we don't actually know.
But
for sure that
here's
he
the
won
thing.
it.
Like, if you have someone who's a low information voter and you splash hot coffee in their face, and then they go, my face hurts. Why does my face hurt? And then you say, it's
Trump.
because Trump. And they go, Trump's bad. He made my face hurt. And you're like, that's right. Here, take another. You splash him in the face again. No, Trump, make it stop.
And then Biden splashes them in the face with coffee, and you're like, "Don't blame me. I voted for Trump."
It's like, a better way to put it is like they're alone in an elevator with Joe Biden, and he lets one rip, and then he looks at him and goes, "It was you."
Hey there, fat. There's Trump. He did it. He came in the elevator and farted and left.
You just didn't notice.
He never knew.
No, but they
elevator shaft.
Their policies had led to an erosion. And what did Obama say? What kind of magic wand do you have to bring back manufacturing? And then Donald Trump did it.
Sure did.
He brought back manufacturing.
Their policies cause destruction. They wreak havoc. They destroy families. They destroy businesses. You have like paramilitary organizations like Antifa and Black Lives Matter. They create these problems, and then they present themselves as the saviors to eradicate those problems. This is why you have Joe Biden telling the country that he's going to heal the nation.
Right.
Do you honestly believe
Isn't
that?
that such a creepy thing to say?
It's
like
weird.
Joe Biden says he'll heal the nation. Was restore the soul of the nation one of his acts? I saw that on a yard sign, and I wasn't sure if that was actually
I think
his or
so.
just something
Restore
weird
the
thing that
soul
somebody
of the
said.
nation?
Yeah, which is just another way of saying "Make America Great
don't
Again," but
like
we like a
that.
way more like creepy spiritual way
I
of
Build
dealing
back
with a
better.
secular
That,
person.
yeah.
Yeah, build back better.
Well, here's the thing about Joe Biden. He might sound nice, and he might say things like, rebuild the soul of America and fix its problems and heal its wounds. He accuses Trump supporters of being Nazis.
Yeah.
He introduced his whole campaign with the concept of the Charlottesville. It was a lie. The Charlottesville hoax, veryfinepeople.org dispels it. And they talk, it's just, he's the worst. He's just nice looking, and he seems old and feeble.
Yeah,
Timothy?
and also speaking of Nazis, the idea of a nation like having a soul, or the nation being an ethical entity, is literally
Yeah,
fascism.
Factually
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
You know what? I do want to mention something really funny. I watched this video from the Pennsylvania